Okay, we're walking down towards the actual railway now. It's a new video. Sorry, there's a part 1 and a part 2. I meant to pause it. What I did instead was stopped it. But there we are. You can probably hear the gear rattling now. That strange noise is the railway on its way up. So that's where we're going down. Sorry, I'm doing a video for it's all relative, it's alright. Each of the two cars which form the railway has a large water tank under it, and just to the right here you can see an outlet pipe.
They're picking up a staff member halfway down.
Once the car at the top is full of water and all the new passengers loaded, the one at the bottom empties its water out and gravity takes one down and the other one up, and they're joined by these huge cables which run around a big wheel at the top here. For those technically minded, there's a governor underneath each carriage which controls the speed, so they have an automatic speed limit on them. When you have a good driver, he operates the handbrake carefully and the trip is as smooth as anything. When you have a bad driver, the governor takes over and the carriage jerks all the way down. So what we'll do is when it comes up here, we'll get onto the carriage and we'll hopefully get to the front and give you an image of it going down. Right, this is the carriage built in the Victorian times. Incredibly skilled men running it. Oh, I'll let you out first. So, no expense spared, luxury seated, but then, to be honest, it is all 100 years old. So you can sit inside, or the other option is to stand with the driver who operates this amazing control system. And don't drop the phone. And we go all the way down there to Lynmouth. I'll pause it now until we start. I just noticed these safety checks for the operator, for the driver. What you can hear is the water tank filling right now. Okay, we've just started very slowly. You can probably hear the gear running underneath. This thing's been operating for what, 125 years? 135 years. When the Lynmouth flood happened in 1952, which I mentioned yesterday, cabins were taken off the top of these beds as a way of getting cars up from Lynmouth up into Lynmouth. You can just see the end of the harbour there. After the flood, the harbour was completely restructured so that the same thing wouldn't happen again. There's the other carriage. You'll notice that the rails go slightly further apart here, which allows the two carriages to pass. It would be a bit of a disaster if it didn't. There is a zigzag path which goes all the way from the top down to Lynmouth, crisscrossing this railway. Done it many times, but now my knees don't like going down and my energy doesn't like coming up. Right there in the middle you can see something called the Rhenish Tower. I'll explain all about that another time. It's, some of it is lost in myth and legend. We have Lynmouth Bay here. Very nice gentle day. And we're just approaching the end. Right, we've just come out of the railway and we're in Lynmouth. The Rhenish Tower, as I understand it, was built for one gentleman who liked to have sea baths. So there is a big tank on the top which could be filled up and he could go in there and have a bath.
Something like that.
Whether that's true or not, oh God, who knows. So, there it is. It's called the Rhenish Tower partly because it's built in the Rhenish style, which is from Flemland, or Flemish. I stopped for a moment there because a car alarm was going off and I can't stand the noise for a start. Right, up there is Countersbury Hill, that big building on it, oh sorry,
Right.
was until recently a hotel. Now it's luxury apartments. Right, this is Lynmouth. Absolutely thronged with people in the summer and almost empty when time you get to dead of winter. There are roads here where virtually no one lives permanently. Very small harbour. It's gone out of focus again and back in focus. Many of the boats will be taken out of here during the winter. And this is the village. So there are two rivers that come down here, the East Lynn and the West Lynn. And that flood disaster was when the two of them were both in full spate from this storm up on the moors as they tumbled down out of the hills. And you're talking about the moors being about 1,000 feet up. They brought rocks with them, they destroyed houses on the way down. They met at the end of the village here and totally destroyed that area. The river used to flow into the harbour, but after the flood they reconstructed it to make it safer. So you have the river one side of this wall here and the harbour the other side for safety. After the flood they built a memorial hall here. June's Uncle Frank was the stonemason who built it, and most of the stones they used to build it they picked up off the beach here. They'd been swept down from houses that were destroyed. So it's a very fitting memorial hall. A few weeks back we had an event down here. I'll try and find a photograph and send it to you separately. They have a raft race here every year, and what happens is people build very makeshift rafts, decorate them, and then the rafts are launched. They have to paddle them out into the sea, round one of the marker posts, and then paddle them back. So they're launched on high tide, and I was watching it just about from here this year. So they're launched over there, right in the centre of the screen. This is when the tide comes right up. You can see roughly where it comes to from the bare stones. And then on the bridge here is lined with people with paper bags full of flour, which they throw at the rafts. And many of the people in the rafts have paper bags full of flour, which they throw back at the people on the bridge. That's why I was here, out of shot of the bags of flowers. Not flowers, bags of flour. God, I told you I can't talk and walk at the same time. We're just going to go up to the end here and then back along the back street of the village. Before the flood, these houses here, whoops, wait for it to come back into focus, look down onto the river. There was no road along the front here, there was only the road along the back. So these balconies were overlooking the river. In a typical piece of imaginative naming, the two rivers are called the East Lynn and the West Lynn. And the East Lynn is the one towards the east and the West Lynn is the one towards the west. And this is Lynmouth. And of course Linton just means the town of the Lynn. So they didn't stretch their... Oh, we just ran into a friend. Hello, I'll pause now. Okay, just bumped into someone we know, which happens quite often. But what we're going to do now is walk up to the bridge here where we can see both the rivers as they come down. There is a fabulous walk up this river, which I may do for you on a sunny day. Not quite sure whether I'm up to it anymore because I'm losing a bit of puff. But it goes right up through the valley you can see in front of us, up to a place called Watersmeet, where another river joins this river. But it's a woodland path up there, and there's a National Trust cafe at the top, which is a wonderful old house. Used to be a summer residence for a very rich family, but is now owned by the National Trust. And just over the road here where we're going is the other river coming in. So this is the West Lynn, pouring down again. I love the sound of rivers going over rocks. But anyway, we will get straight on and we will start walking down the original road. So this road on the right, as I said, didn't exist before the flood. They constructed it when they rebuilt the whole harbour and protected everything. And we're going to go down the original street for Lynmouth, which is now pedestrianised and touristified. Is that a word? Anyway, it is now. Morning. So this hasn't really changed in my memory of it. Some of it is getting a bit fancier and a bit more designed for tourists. There were at one time shops down here that actually catered for the community, but as there aren't many people who live down here in the winter, it's really all focused on summer trade. one of the many tea gardens we have. In actual fact, we're going to stop in a few minutes in a relatively new tea shop, which is owned by the Exmoor National Park. I have no idea, and I've never asked, why someone installed a torpedo here.
Why not?
Pick up. June just said, why not? Yeah, okay. And there's the friend we just met. Just going to get a bacon sandwich.
Wait to your knees.
So that pretty much is Lynmouth. I'm going to pause it there. Right, I thought what I'd do is just walk out through the Rhenish Tower to the end of this little pier and give you a panorama of Lynmouth. It looks great on a sunny day. You want to be down here when the sky is almost black. The wind is whipping in from the ocean and it's raining. Not quite so nice then. So this of course doesn't go anywhere. But what you do begin to get is the idea of what Lynmouth in this coast looks like. Well, you can see the railway there in that cutting that we just came down on. And the sea looks magnificent when the weather's like this. Oh, sorry, almost walked into you. And we've got Countersbury Hill. On these hills there's a road which runs right along the top of them, which I may get to you to drive and I'll photograph it as we go. Trying to work out why my camera keeps going in and out of focus. And that's Lynmouth.